see. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So, hello everyone. This is Matt and Jennifer Lucas with the Franchising Company back for another Zoom interview. Today we have Dana Hansen with nZone Sports. As you were watching the video, if you like what you're hearing, feel free to click the link below and we'll check to see if your territory is available. You can always text me at 270-215-2844 as well. But now that that's out of the way, Dana, welcome. Thanks for taking some time here today. If you don't mind, just briefly introduce yourself and give us that high-level overview of nZone.
Matt and Jennifer, it is such a pleasure to be with you guys today. So thank you so much for the invitation. My name is Dana Hansen. I'm the president and co-owner of nZone Sports. And I've been in franchising for a long time. I'm almost embarrassed, but proud at the same time to say that I've been doing this for like 20 years. It's gone by really, really fast, and it's been so much fun helping people find that path to ownership. But nZone Sports is based in Tampa, Florida. We have about 65 locations now. We've been franchising for over 10 years. And what we are doing is something that's really special. It's not just youth sports, but it's also adult sports leagues, and we have a preschool program. But where we really kind of cut our teeth was introducing kids to sports in a really, really fun way that is a way where they can kind of fall in love with sports and make friends and build their confidence in a way that's not hyper competitive, where parents are kind of like wanting to rip the head off the referee if they blow a call, and there's no pro scouts at our games or anything like that.
So I will say we've been working with Dana for a very long time, and he's always been great, but I've never seen him more passionate about something than when you joined nZone a couple of years ago. So I'm excited about this. Anyway, I just, for what it's worth, you've always been very passionate about this.
So, you've already touched on kind of just high level that you've got, the junior program, which is, the preschools, daycares, you've got the youth programs, you've got the adult leagues. But just, if you don't mind, take a minute and just kind of step into each one of those individually and talk to us a little bit about it. I mean, I love the fact that you've got the junior program because that's such a great feeder program for the youth leagues that you also operate. But I'll turn it over and just kind of let you give us a little overview of each individual section.
Yeah, I appreciate that. No, and back to Jennifer's point, I've really enjoyed working with you guys over the years. And I think that the reason that I'm probably more passionate now than I ever was in the past was I've built a lot of other brands, and this is the first time that I really had the opportunity to build something for myself. So I became co-owner of the company last March. And it's been just so much fun and such a blast, and we're in such a fun industry. So definitely appreciate the opportunity to kind of bring something new and exciting into the world with you guys. And so as it pertains to the programs that we offer, the preschool program starts with kids ages 2 to 5. We introduce them to sports in a really, really fun way. We send a coach to the preschools. They typically are there for about 45 minutes each week. We have some preschools that want us to come more than once a week. But again, we're wanting to introduce kids to sports, and they're learning skills, but they think they're just playing games. And so they don't really realize how, they're just having fun. So it just feels like, this is, just a blast. And we're really keeping the parents engaged. Most preschools don't have sports programs, and the ones that do, usually it's just soccer, and kids get kind of bored with that after a while. So we introduce up to 7 to 12 different sports and make it really, really fun. And then when they're a little older, then they go into our youth sports leagues, and that's for ages 5 to 16. And with that program, usually it's about an 8-week season, and so the franchise owners typically will have host this at a venue. We'll help them find the venue, and they'll have parents come out there every Saturday, for example, and it's a blast. So for 8 weeks on, and then take some time off, do another 8-week season, take some time off. And then we found a lot of parents were saying, like, our kids are having a blast with the preschool program and the sports leagues for kids, but like, how come there's no adult sports leagues? And we said, that's a fair question. So we introduced adult sports this last year, which is really exciting. So we have something for the entire family. So once they're part of it, the nZone family, we have something for literally everybody.
And just to reiterate, you don't have to do all three. You could do one, or you could do two, or you could do all three, right? It's
You know what's funny is I have some owners that only want to do the preschool program because it has such high profit margins, and they like the flexibility that it offers, where they send, sending the coach there and kind of communicating with the parents, communicating with the coaches and preschools. I have some owners that only do the youth sports leagues. That's like they love it. They have family members that are involved, like their kids are maybe teenagers and they're out there kind of helping and getting involved as well. And so I have some owners that only do that. Generally, when we start a new location, they are going to pick one direction to begin with, but scaling doesn't necessarily mean with our franchise doesn't mean you have to buy more territory. It just means adding more sports or adding another component, another profit center. So it's pretty exciting in that way as well.
That's one of the things that I like about it is the fact that, and what we've been telling our candidates that are interested is start with your low hanging fruit. So if you're around a bunch of kids and you're already around athletics, like start there, you've got the network built, but then grow it and expand it from there. To your point, you don't have to buy a bunch of territory. You just simply add a new program or add a new sport. And really, really love that about nZone. The other thing that obviously is nice is you've got a low investment. So talk to us about that.
Man, that is actually one of the more exciting things. Before I joined nZone, there were a couple things that, couple big boxes that I needed to check before I came here. And one of those boxes was, are the franchise owners, is this a hobby or is this a real business? And Tony Westbrook is the founder of the company and he's my business partner. And he's been a really good friend of mine for many years. And the nice thing is Tony makes me laugh a lot, which I think it's important that we keep people in our lives that put a smile on our face. And Tony's one of those guys for me that just brings a lot of joy. But when we sat down and he kind of shared the financials, kind of got into, I was really impressed with the numbers that I was seeing. I was kind of shocked about, and it kind of ties into your question about the buy-in. Generally speaking, the brands that I've been with, the buy-in is 250,000 plus. And so the buy-in with nZone is actually all in with the franchise fee, two territories, and the working capital. It's under $75,000 all in. So I'm like, how can that kind of a business make any money? And so when he was showing me the numbers, I was like, okay, well, that box is checked because there's quote, big boy money to be made, or however you would want to phrase it. This was an actual business, not just a hobby. So that for me was a huge part of me wanting to be part of the brand. But yeah, the buy-in is and it's low intentionally. There's so many good people out there that want to start a business, but they just don't have like a ton of working capital, and maybe they're kind of working on their credit, and they're kind of like we want everybody to achieve the dream of business ownership regardless of their financial situation. So the door is wide open and it's a really exciting time for us. And that's what, one of the reasons why we're adding a lot of new owners is that buy-in being low. I think having those three profit centers, and then with those three profit centers, those three different parts of the business, the margins are just so good. On the leagues, the margins are anywhere from 30 to 50%. As you guys know, being in franchising, as long as you have, like usually really good profit margins are between 12 to 20%. With our leagues, it's 30 to 50%. And with the preschool program, it's 50 to 70%, which is off the charts.
It's unheard of, absolutely. So, you know, how do you go about finding the kids? So for, on the daycare preschool side, I'm sure it's going out and creating the relationships with the schools, right? And just explaining your program, getting in. But on the youth sports leagues, where are you finding the majority of the kids that are signing up?
Yeah, that brings up a really good point. Sometimes people are like, I don't know if we want to do this franchise because there's already established leagues and things in our area. In every single area, I mean, that's been the case. And we have we've never gone into a market where there wasn't already competitors there. Just because there's already competitors doesn't mean that it's a well-run program. It doesn't mean that parents are happy with what they have. What they have is what they have. And they're like, okay, I guess we're stuck with this until somebody else comes in here and does it better. And so our approach is one where we'll take a look to see like who the competition is, where they're located, And then our team actually will help find venues in areas where that are not exactly right across the street. It'll be in a different part of town. That's probably going to be more convenient for parents. And also, we want to try to create really our foundation is, again, like getting kids off of screens, getting them healthy, getting them active, let them make new friends. So ours is kind of a soft, easy, and doesn't mean there's not competition. There is competition. There's going to be some kids that are really good, but what we really want to do is attract the kids that may not have as much natural talent, but they want to try it. They want to try a sport. They want to know what it's like to be part of a team. They want to, and we can watch their confidence grow and they become better season after season because they keep coming back because they're having such a blast. They're having such a good time. So when it comes to marketing with the leagues, we actually have a 13-week program. So week 1, we want you to do this. Week 2, we want you to do this. And we're kind of, and we're going to have coaching calls with each of our owners just to make sure that they're on track. And so we want that first season to be something that is super successful because, hey, nothing's going to make you feel happier about business ownership than starting to get money coming in. And we want that first season to be really, really special for you and really set the tone for the community.
So on that note, that first season, how long does it take to successfully get up and put a league together and see that validate all the way through?
Yeah, I mean, it is about 13 weeks from the time that they sign the franchise agreement until we actually have that first league open. So it's a very methodical approach that we know works exactly in every market that we're in, and it's led by our director of franchise training and support. And that brings up a really good point. I think that we're the only franchise in existence where all of the training and support team members own their own franchises. That's unique in franchising. That doesn't exist. And the benefit of that is when we're giving coaching advice, it's real world. It's not like we think it's going to work. We know it works because they're living it every single day. And so they're going to, when it comes to like knowing how to compete and where to compete and where should the location be, getting it firsthand from somebody that owns and operates it is really, really huge. But yeah, on the league side, it is about 13 weeks. On the preschool side, it's a lot faster. Because you can go out and start getting preschools right away. But before, one of the things that sometimes I think people get nervous about is, gosh, I don't have sales experience. I don't like sales. I don't want to be part of that. With our preschool program, our top owner actually is like one of the most laid back guys ever. Zero salesy, like very like just a kind person, but
Aggressive.
not super outgoing, maybe kind of an introvert, if you will. And he has over 1,000 kids in his leagues. And what's really great is I convinced him to be part of our training team for the preschool program. So our new owners that are coming in are actually under his watch, under his tutelage. He's the one that's making sure that they're doing all the right things to really build a significant business for themselves.
Now, is his 1,000, is that all through preschools or does he have youth sports leagues as well?
That's only preschools.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do the math.
It's pretty crazy when you think about like those registrations, like they're paying like $50-$60 per month. And those margins are like crazy. Yeah.
So do you help, does nZone help their owners find the coaches, both for the leagues and for the preschool programs?
Yeah, really, really great question. For the leagues, it's really easy because typically you have parents that are going out there, anyway, then they grew up playing sports and so that's kind of an easy one. We have a VIP program for them where they get involved and we give them a discount for being a coach, and we have a coach's game and we have, all these fun activities for the coaches throughout the year to really make this feel like a really fun experience so that they'll not only want to do this year, but also next year as well. When it comes to the preschool program, we actually have a way of recruiting talent, and usually it comes from one of two areas. Usually we get some college kids that are they're playing sports. they're patient. They like working with kids. It seems like females are a little bit more patient than guys, but I don't want to stereotype. But generally speaking, that typically tends to be the case. So we'll have college students that are the coaches, but we also get a lot of like moms that have a really flexible schedule, and they love kids and they want to be around kids, and they played sports themselves growing up too. And so, we get a lot of that. So we have a very specific recruiting program. And the nice thing is you don't need a lot of employees. Generally speaking, our owners on the preschool side are going to have, a couple of coaches to begin with and start kind of ramping it up. Our goal for our new owners is to have somewhere around, 10 to 15 new preschools that first year. And in that case, you're probably going to need 3 or 4 coaches on the other side. On the leagues, again, you have parents that are part of that.
And really, for the leagues, the only overhead you have are like the cost of the field and maybe the refs or trophies and things, because there's no brick and mortar. There's not a lot of overhead, I guess, is what I'm asking.
That's exactly right. You're right on the money. We actually have also opportunities where we're going to take a look at each venue. Sometimes like where there's existing programs, that might be the best scenario depending on how much they're charging and things like that. But we've also been really successful in areas where you have like large churches and they have a lot of land and that's not being used on a Saturday, and they have parking galore. And they actually kind of like it, just because people are coming out there on Saturday, they think maybe they'll come back on Sunday, and maybe they'll want to be part of the church or organization or whatever. And that really, those margins tend to be even a little bit better than the traditional fields that are set up as well. So we're looking to really maximize the opportunity and also make it really convenient for the parents.
That's a great idea. I do know from a past conversation that you're picky about who you let in. Obviously they can't be a jerk. I think your exact words were, we have a no jerk policy.
That is really true. We're looking for people that that have joy in their hearts. We're looking for people that are community minded, that love kids, that love sports. That our ideal person. Usually, we're getting people from all backgrounds. I get a lot of IT professionals and people from all walks of life, but it seems like the common denominator seems to be they have kids that play sports or have played sports. And they're like, I know parents are spending money on sports because I am too. And I think they can really relate to that. And maybe they're involved in like maybe their kids are just not having a great experience with a local program, and they're like, oh my gosh, there needs to be something else in this, in this area. I see a big opportunity that's being missed. The other thing too is a lot of the sports programs are expensive, like super expensive, especially like these travel leagues, and the kids have to be really, really good. And even the kids that are good may not get a lot of playing time, like because other kids are better. With us, everybody gets playing time. Everybody has an opportunity to really enjoy the love of sport. And that's huge for us. Yeah.
That brings up a really good point, and I don't have the statistics, you may know it, but I mean, how many high school athletes go on to play Division I? It's a very small percentage, and then Division I to professional, right? Which just shows that there's so many kids out there that love sports, want to play sports, but their talent level or whatever is more recreational and not club level, right? And so those clubs are super competitive, super expensive, 24/7, year round. There needs to be a viable option in everybody's market that's for everybody else. That's like the 1%ers that are club level, right? But for everybody else, there needs to be another viable option, which is what nZone provides.
Yeah, 1,000%. You hit the nail on the head. And even kids that play maybe high school sports, like when it's off season, they're still looking for something that's kind of related that they can still do and have fun, and that's kind of they're still out there and they're having a good time and they're still playing something. What happens at these leagues is these kids end up making a lot of friends, and then they're like, well, I want to be with my friends again, and they actually between seasons, so we do an 8-week season, and then we take a little time off. Usually by like a couple weeks afterwards, they're like, hey, when's the next season starting up? Like they can't wait to be part of that. So generally in each market we'll do 3 or 4 seasons per year. And just to kind of give you an idea of the economics with that, I mean, the parents are paying $150 to $175 for the enrollment, depends on the area, depends on the owner. Owner decides how much they want to charge. And, if you have, a couple hundred kids out there, and you're actually being paid up front. So I mean, we have owners that did just the sports leagues to begin with, and they saw an immediate return on their investment because they already, but the key is obviously to have a really good marketing plan to get enough kids, get enough attention, and then build on that. Because once the word of mouth gets out that we have this dynamic program with nZone Sports and it's a blast and everybody wants to be part of it, that should be growing and growing, and that word of mouth should be a big part of that.
And another point that we haven't even touched on that is huge is that you will allow for semi-passive ownership to start, so they can transition easily.
That is such a huge one, Jennifer. Like, I think that there's a lot of people that are interested in starting a business, but they're afraid to make the jump. It's not just financial, but it's hard to step away from a job where you have guaranteed income coming in and you have benefits and you have, a lot of reasons to stay, even if you don't like the job that much and you're kind of yearning for something more. So we do allow our owners to start part-time and scale it. I would say the majority of our owners actually do start part-time while they're currently working. In fact, that owner that I referred to that's our largest in our system, he actually did exactly that. He was working for a major corporation that's a top 100 company in the United States. And he always wanted something more. He liked the company, but he was like, man, life is short. I need to be building something for myself. And obviously franchising is a way to be in business for yourself, but not by yourself, and not make the mistakes of, when you try to start something, some of the things you're going to try are going to work, some are not. So we take all the guesswork out of that equation. And in his case, he built it up over the next couple of years and made that transition when he wanted to. The funny thing is he was having such a blast with nZone. He's like, well, I should buy some other franchises too. So he bought 2 other franchises and then immediately realized it's not as much fun as nZone, and sold them within a year. He's like, I'm all in with nZone. I'm just having a blast. And that's, we like to say our little motto is, life is short, so we want you to find your joy, and we let fun lead the way. And that's really what we're all about. So if we can smile all the way to the bank, hey, let's do it.
I love that. This is one of our favorite brands, as you know. We talk about you guys a lot, and we look forward to working with you more. And
yeah, so before we jump off, we covered a lot in a short period of time. Anything that we left off that you feel the viewers should know?
I think you did a really good job, and I love working with you guys, and your candidates are so good. I think the main thing is for people that are considering a franchise of any sort, just make sure that you find something that you really enjoy. And I think for, one of the things that I think people are a little bit afraid of is being pitched, and they're afraid that they're going to be like pressured. I can tell you, obviously anybody that works with you two, you guys are so down to earth and you're so easy to work with. And we're the same way. The first call that I like to personally have a call with all the candidates to begin with, because I want to get to know them. And I want to protect them from, getting involved in something that is maybe not the right fit. So as I'm getting to know them, I want to make sure that this is something that, that we find common ground, that our values are aligned, that we're on the same page. And so they're always a little bit surprised on that first call that there's no kind of a pitch, and there's never any pressure throughout our process. Like, at the end of it, they're like, oh, wow, like I really want to do this. Great, but of course everybody goes through executive interviews. But again, we're not just trying to protect our brand, but we're trying to protect people from investing in something where they wouldn't be happy or they wouldn't be successful. And that's our whole thing. So if it's not the right fit, hey, we part ways as friends, and there's 000 pressure.
so genuine.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it does you no good, and it certainly does them no good if you get into a bad situation or a bad fit. So
yeah,
thank you very much for the time. This was very informative. I know everybody watching has probably learned quite a bit. So For those of you watching, if you are ready to mix fun and business,
And you're not a
again,
jerk.
and you're not a jerk, feel free to click the link below to check to see if your market is still available, or send me a text at 270-215-2844. We'll get with Dana and start going through the next steps.
Thank you,
Thank you
Dana.
so much.
Appreciate it, Dana.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, let's see. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, so hello everyone. This is Matt and Jennifer Lucas with the Franchising Company, back for another Zoom interview. Today we have Dana Hansen with nZone Sports. As you were watching the video, if you like what you're hearing, feel free to click the link below and we'll check to see if your territory is available. You can always text me at 270-215-2844 as well. But now that that's out of the way, Dana, welcome. Thanks for taking some time here today. If you don't mind, just briefly introduce yourself and give us that high-level overview of nZone.
Matt and Jennifer, it is such a pleasure to be with you guys today. So thank you so much for the invitation. My name is Dana Hansen. I'm the president and co-owner of nZone Sports. And I've been in franchising for a long time. I'm almost embarrassed, but proud at the same time to say that I've been doing this for like 20 years. It's gone by really, really fast, and it's been so much fun helping people find that path to ownership. But nZone Sports is based in Tampa, Florida. We have about 65 locations now. We've been franchising for over 10 years. And what we are doing is something that's really special. It's not just youth sports, but it's also adult sports leagues, and we have a preschool program. But where we really kind of cut our teeth was introducing kids to sports in a really, really fun way that is a way where they can kind of fall in love with sports and make friends and build their confidence in a way that's not hyper.